Okay, let's just jump right in. I want you to picture something. A city, deep in the Cambodian jungle, a sprawling metropolis that was once, believe it or not, the largest city on Earth. We're talking 1 million people. And right at its heart, this absolutely magnificent temple carved from stone. But then, the entire civilization just vanished. Today, we're exploring the story of that city's crown jewel, Angkor Wat.
For centuries, this place has just left people speechless. Even long after the Khmer Empire fell and the jungle started creeping back in, explorers like this Portuguese friar would stumble upon it and, well, they could barely find the words. You can just feel the awe in his writing, right? It's a testament to a structure that seemed almost impossible, like nothing else on Earth.
So just how big was the city of Angkor back in its heyday in the 12th century? Well, get this. The estimated population was 1 million people. That made it the largest pre-industrial city in all of human history. A massive, bustling hub of life, culture, and incredible power. And this is where that number really hits home. To put it in perspective, while Angkor was thriving with its 1 million residents, a major European city like London had maybe 50,000 people. This wasn't just a big city for its time. It was a megacity on a scale the world had literally never seen before.
And that, right there, is the huge question we're going to unravel. How does a civilization this powerful, this advanced, this enormous, just disappear off the map? Well, to find the answer, we first have to understand what Angkor Wat was even built for.
All right, to really get Angkor, you have to see it as way more than just a building. It's a map of the entire cosmos, a physical representation of the Hindu universe brought to life in millions of tons of sandstone.
And the key to the whole thing, it's this concept, Mount Meru. In Hindu cosmology, this is the center of everything, a mythical 5-peaked mountain where the gods themselves live. The entire temple is designed to be a symbolic recreation of this super sacred place.
And the layout itself tells this cosmic story. That massive moat you have to cross to get in, that's the primordial ocean at the edge of the world. The huge concentric galleries you walk through, those are the mountain ranges that circle the sacred center. And finally, those 5 iconic towers that everyone recognizes, yep, those are the peaks of Mount Meru itself. You're not just walking through a temple, you're meant to feel like you're on a journey to the home of the gods.
Now, what's so cool is that this whole cosmic model had a dual purpose. On the one hand, it was commissioned by King Suryavarman II as this grand temple for the Hindu god Vishnu. But it's also believed to be the king's own tomb. A huge clue is that it faces west, the direction of the setting sun, which is associated with both Vishnu and, well, the end of life. It was a home for his god and a final resting place for himself.
But building something on this epic scale, it took more than just devotion. It took some serious ingenuity. So let's shift gears from the symbolic why to the practical how. The amazing technology that fueled the whole Khmer Empire.
The Khmer were obviously master builders, but their true genius, their secret weapon that let their civilization boom and support 1 million people in the middle of a jungle, was hydraulic engineering. They figured out how to master the water. And to give you an idea of the scale we're talking about, look at this number, 48 million. That's the capacity in cubic meters of just one of their massive hand-dug reservoirs, the West Baray. It's so enormous that when you're standing there, it just looks like a giant lake.
So how did this all work? Well, Cambodia's climate is all about extremes. You've got a crazy wet monsoon season, followed by a bone dry season. The Khmer solved this by building these massive reservoirs, called barays, to capture all that monsoon rain. Then, a super complex web of canals spread that water out all year long, which meant they could have multiple rice harvests. That food surplus was the foundation of all their wealth and power. It's what freed up the manpower to build incredible monuments like Angkor Wat. This incredible system was the secret to Angkor's success. But, and this is the crazy irony, it also held the seeds of its own destruction. It's what led directly to the city's collapse.
So the decline wasn't just one single event. It was more like a cascade of disasters over a couple of centuries. First, after the death of Angkor Wat's creator, the city was attacked. Then, a huge religious shift happened under a new king who brought in Buddhism, and on top of all that, a climate catastrophe hit, a mega drought that tree ring data shows lasted for decades. The final nail in the coffin was an invasion from the Kingdom of Siam in 1431.
Which brings us to this powerful, kind of tragic irony.
The very technological genius that allowed the Khmer to build this massive city in a difficult environment also made them incredibly vulnerable when that system started to break down.
You can almost see the chain reaction, right? With the new Buddhist religion, the state's focus shifted. Maintaining that massive Hindu-inspired water system wasn't the top priority anymore, so over time, it just fell into disrepair. Then, that mega drought hits. The already weakened infrastructure just couldn't handle it. The canals ran dry, the reservoirs failed, and the city that depended completely on the system, well, it couldn't feed itself anymore. The civilization just collapsed.
But here's the thing, the story doesn't just end there with the fall of the empire. Because even though the city was abandoned, its heart, Angkor Wat, survived, and its legacy today is more powerful than ever.
You see, unlike so many of the other temples that were completely swallowed by the jungle, Angkor Wat was preserved. Buddhist monks kept using and maintaining the site, and that huge moat actually helped keep the forest from taking over completely. It was never truly lost.
Today, Angkor Wat isn't just a historical monument. It is the absolute soul of Cambodia. Its silhouette is right there in the middle of the national flag, it's on their money, and it stands as this profound symbol of Khmer pride and identity. It represents the absolute peak of what their ancestors achieved.
And so that's the question we're left with, isn't it? The story of Angkor is this powerful lesson from 900 years ago. It's a story of a civilization that reached incredible heights by engineering its environment, only to collapse when its own complex systems failed in the face of a changing climate. It really makes you wonder, what can their fate teach us about our own delicate balance today?